Greetings and welcome. I'm Rebecca Carner, Biofield tuner. Today's contemplation and tuning is around the concept of integration, how one integrates, quote, something into their lives. I'm going to unpack that just a little bit, and then I'm going to talk about, in particular, one aspect and the word neuroplasticity that is often sort of spoken and sort of lobbed out there. But what does that really mean in terms of a lived experience, right? And then we're going to tune into the experience of that and the field of anybody right now who is in a neurally plastic phase. And how do you then actually move? How do you steward? How do you act when you're in that? All right. Integration. Integrating things, embodying them, drawing them into the body, bringing this into your life. I'm trying to think of all the different turns of phrases that refer to the action of integrating something. When we say, so I steward people through life transformation with the use of frequencies and using feedback in the collective field. There are many moments in a life, if you are living with awareness, where afterwards, after the thing, you have to, quote, integrate it, whether that's a really moving poetry reading, a cathartic energy session, working with various kinds of plant medicine. There's also post-traumatic integration after a car accident, after a surgery, after a divorce, after getting laid off, after retiring. You have to integrate that thing into your life. And many people who are on a journey to feel better or to work effectively with something are told, oh, you need to integrate that. And I was having a really meaningful conversation with a colleague of mine yesterday, and she was saying that community member who I know and have worked with as well was saying, okay, well, when you integrate, like, what do you do? Like, I don't do anything to integrate. Because sometimes integration is, oh, I have this new practice. Oh, I'm going to meditate more. Oh, I'm going to do yoga 3 times a week. Oh, I'm integrating by doubling down on my journaling practice. This kind of thing. But sometimes after a cathartic experience, there's nothing to do, really, right? But that doesn't mean that you're not integrating. And neurally, I'm not a neuroscientist and I don't play one on YouTube, but what I know, both from observation on others and then also in my own lived experience, is that when you go through a thing, right, it might be intentional or it might be circumstantial, but when you are noticing that you're in a phase of the life that I kind of used to do all the time, it feels weird. With one of my coaching clients years and years and years ago, I said, it's like you're walking on the surface of a moon in a new moon suit. It's like all of a sudden driving to the grocery stores feels different that day. Or you wake up in your bed and you're like, where am I? I mean, you know you're in your room, but it's like, it's as if your arrival into your lived experience is hidden different. That, per my understanding, is moments of neuroplasticity. That is literally when the structure, right, the plastic static trueness of your reality is plastic, is malleable, is in motion. Let's take a breath with that concept. And that it's in those funny little moments that you really realize reality is what I make it. It's not a fixed thing, right? And so, how does one really, the field kind of just, right, that's right. So, that kind of definition of a neurally plastic moment is literally the moment when you realize reality isn't fixed. It is what I make it. So when we're in an integrative phase, do we have to do a thing? Like, is there a certain recipe or a protocol that everyone should follow to have a successful integrative experience? The answer is no. Also, sometimes some of the best practices and protocols for integration are just busy work, and in their essence, for that person in that time, are actually a distraction from true integration, right? It can just be busy work. It's something to do rather than letting that fully, the thing, whatever it is, fully arrive in your system, integrating it into your cognition, but also your autonomic nervous system experience of reality, right? Because cognition is the thinking, the autonomic cadence of your lived reality is the body wisdom, right? Is the body mind. Integrating is taking the event and having them infuse and be fully metabolized and therefore easily resident in both your cognition and in your body mind. Okay. I think that's a really good working definition of integration. And the way to get there is going to be different for every person, different probably every day, maybe different every hour of any given day, and different for any and every type of event, right? Because yeah, take a breath. Okay, really good. All right, I'm going to get full on into the tuning in just a second, but I do want to talk this concept through just a little moment. The example that's really coming through is because this is a difficult one, but I think it is effectively exemplary of what I'm trying to describe. For instance, the post-traumatic growth phase of surviving cancer, right? I don't think anybody would argue that getting a cancer diagnosis and going through an oncology journey is good. And nobody wishes that for anybody. Nobody, right? And yet, after surviving cancer and finishing their oncology protocol, whether it was successful or they went into remission, or if they know there's nothing more and they just are going to proceed on and live as long as they can with the cancer, there is a phase where those patients are looking at their life through a different lens, right? They still have to wake up and eat breakfast just like they did before the diagnosis, right? But there's this neurally plastic window where they realize, oh, I don't, I'm going to pick what I do. I am having a different awareness. And there is a very sort of straight shooting, almost kind of harsh scientist named Dr. Ellen Langer. I think she's out of Yale, maybe Harvard, I can't remember, who's done just, I don't know, however many books over however many decades. And her definition of mindfulness is not woo-woo and it's not meditative. It is literally bringing yourself into awareness and presence with what is and staying curious and realizing that you can be with things and then executing agency in choosing what you want to be around. And that is really her definition of mindfulness. And in that way, I feel that what she is doing is the definition of training yourself in life to be the most neurally plastic at all times. That's kind of, it seems like that's her kind of tack for people. Like we would do better if we remained supple and plastic and aware all of the time. And in, for instance, integrating a ketamine therapy session or guided experience with various plant medicines or this kind of thing, when people are integrating that, it does help to journal and it does help to do all these things. But real integration is actually behind the scenes, right? It's how you're bringing this new awareness and living it silently and very nuancedly in your life, noticing how you feel. Yeah. Which is different than doing the thing. And it's very subtle. And as everything is, it's an inside job. And if someone were observing you from the outside, you're integrating that experience. You're integrating the aha moment. You're integrating your deeper understanding or revelation about a thing. But you could just be sitting at your office desk looking like nothing, right? It wouldn't show. But working with your neurally plastic phase is the integration, and that is how we draw it down in the body and then regulate it, and then that's how we make different decisions. So then that's how the life changes happen. It's not because you decide, I'm going to do this differently today because last week I had this aha moment with non-duality in a ketamine session with my therapist. That's not that. It's realizing I would like to feel different in my life. And then all of a sudden, oh no, I would like to develop this kind of relationship. Or, oh, I see I need to look for a different kind of work because I'm noticing that what I thought was okay and what I normalized, it really isn't a match. If I keep the edges of that movable as opposed to fixed as an idea in my mind. Yeah. Whew, okay, I feel like I've talked around that enough. Okay, I'm going to pan this out. This is the last thing I'm going to say. So I'm talking about a personal experience integrating a personal aha moment. And whether it's sickness or a car accident or a change in life or a certain kind of therapy, I've talked about different individual ways that these moments can arrive to us, these neurally plastic phases can arrive in our lives. I'm going to pan this out to a macro application, which is this. When systems and institutions are shifting and falling apart and being exposed as not integral and integrous in their structure, that can be dismaying and disorienting. But what that is on a macro, on a cultural scale, that is a neuroplastic moment, because the edges of that structure have suddenly become malleable. Whoops. That can be disquieting, but it's also an amazing opportunity to realize we make our reality. Oh, those people weren't shepherding that big company in a way that made a good product or was good for its employees. That's not good news. No, it isn't good news. Much like cancer, not a good news. But then all of a sudden to realize, once that is exposed and dealt with, oh, we can now make companies. The word company can mean something that makes a beautiful product and is beautiful for everybody who works within its structure, right? Just like cancer, it's like you don't wish that on anybody, but when you survive it and you realize my life is what I make it, when I thought it was gone, I realized that I could look and interface with it and make it to be something completely different. And you can, and you always could be. That realization comes because of that catharsis, right? Right? So whether you think you are in a neurally plastic and integrative phase, many of you who find this video will be on an individual level, but we as a culture are absolutely in this on a macro level. So in this way, as always, that's right. This tuning is universal, and it is absolutely applicable right now, and it is applicable whensoever you find and watch this video. So I'm going to tune in. Let's hone our intentions as I ground the. So I'm tuning into the field of neuroplasticity and our being able to effectively connect with it as defined by being a state of gentle internal awareness with an internal locus of power and perspective, and realizing that when I reach the membrane edge of where I interface with life, that is editable, it is malleable. I have efficacy in shifting and creating how that looks and how that feels. And by these minute minute, gentle, soft-edged instances of awareness. This is how I decide whether something is a go or a no-go, a yes or a not for me. And I'd like more of this. This feels just right. This feels supportive. This feels exciting, but not in that glossy kind of a way, but more like generative, right? Maximizing windows of neuroplasticity mean being online and present in this now moment, right? You know, the biggest submariner, the quickest way to torpedo, I think one of the functions that torpedoes our neurally plastic moments are the attachments. It's the ways that we wish that things were fixed so that we wouldn't have to worry about them, or that we wish that things would, quote, stay the same. But to soften your grasp on your various attachments, and I don't even mean attachments to like creature comforts, like your favoriteest pillow or your favoriteest fuzzy throw or whatever. I am talking about attachments to beliefs, to thought forms. Yeah, yeah. Being attached to thought forms. It's like realizing you have a thought form is like a master class of awareness, right? That's like a ninja level maneuver. To realize that it exists, but then to soften your attachment to it so that you can create a new reality. Wow, right there. Wow, that's what we're going to tune. Oh, right there. That's the working edge right there, friends. God, it's an honor to be here with you. Those of you who can join me right there. Wow. You know, the client who really prompted this video happening today is an amazing example of being right on that working edge, right, that we just touched on. That was so profound. I wanted to sob and vomit. And it almost felt like myalgic pain in my body. I mean, it was like finding that edge in the collective field was profound because, man, that is where people are. And while really holding sacred space and deep, deep, deep confidentiality, the elements of that case study that I would like to bring into this space are this that client had been depressed for years, profoundly, had been medicated with standard pharmacology. It did not help, had up doses, it hadn't helped. Did it quit working, it quit being effective. The level of despair and depression and depressive life experience that client arrived into working with me and my community in was profound. It was suicidal. It was not okay. It was profoundly deep and dark. And that client didn't journal, didn't start a yoga practice, didn't do all the physical protocols of integration, and in fact would go back to their daily life and feel bad and report feeling bad, but kept showing up and kept doing the work, kept showing up and kept doing the work, got off their medication because it wasn't helping anyway, felt bad, but kept showing up, felt bad, but kept showing up. But every day, their example of living into that awareness was realizing and waking up every day for a long time, a year, you guys, 15 months, 14 months, a long time, every day, at lunch, at dinner, in the morning, at lunch, at dinner, every day, still feeling bad. But little increments every now and again, realizing at lunch, I don't feel as bad, but then would feel back down again, right? And so that neuroplastic integration and metabolizing of that work didn't look like a certain practice, but that client did integrate it into their body. They did exercise those neurally plastic swaths of time by being present and alert and aware in their lived experience, which ongoingly for the first little while was being fully aware and alert and neurally plastically open to not feeling good, right? It wasn't an immediate, oh, whew, I feel so much better. Yeah, no, that did. Day upon day, upon month, upon week, upon month, upon season, it was being awake and aware and maintaining a malleable edge of awareness. And then over time, incrementally, the light creeped in. Incrementally, better feelings came and arrived, I think often into the body sometimes first before the cognition, which we think drives the bus. We think this gets there first and this is the tag along. It's often this is okay, right? So to be neurally plastic, to realize I can get up out of bed easier this morning, but I'm still depressed. My life sucks. Blah, 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 blah. Right? The cognition is still attached to the thought form, but the body's saying, today feels a little bit brighter, you know? Yeah. There's like this low vibration. Let's just be right there with that grindy. Because they stayed present. And they stayed present. And they sat with their attachment to the depression and to the known upside down comfort of being unhappy. The tension in my head is like a hat band. I know. You're not alone. For those of you, and for those of you whose field are receiving this tuning, even if your person doesn't find this on YouTube right now. This is so many of us, right? Yeah, yeah. This is so many of us. And like the shame we feel, right? Like, don't even be attached to the shame. Like, God was, it's what's really coming to me is the way we feel stupid when we realize I've been attached to feeling bad in various different ways, right? And then you think, that was dumb of me, right? But it's also human of you, and you're not alone. And it's like, oh my God, if anybody knew what a dumbass I've been. Yeah, no, look, you're in good company. You're in good company. You're not alone. You are not the only one. And to get caught in the shame spiral of why did I do that? That's its own little torpedo. Don't give in to it. Don't feel ashamed. Just realize you're doing it. And what would you like? That would be different. How could you integrate a step, not even a step, because that implies action, right? And so much of integration isn't action, it's being. Neuroplasticity is a being state. All right, you guys, I'm gonna, that's the mind fuck, right? Because we're in a culture that says you have to do. You do, therefore you are. You do, therefore you're worthy. You do, therefore you exist, right? But the magic is in the awareness. The magic is in that, right? That molecule of where the rubber meets the road of reality, right? But inside that molecule, the state isn't rolling, it isn't moving, it's being, right? Whew. Right. I'm sorry I dropped the F-bomb, but it's like if we have to talk about this, I need to be able to say it. Okay. All right, we've got a little bit more tuning to do, but first of all, really, let's shake it out, right? God, I talk a lot about it. I talk a lot about it with clients, and I feel like I've talked a lot about it in these videos. That sort of weird pressure differential when you're driving down the highway and you crack only one window and it does that boop, 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 boop in the car. Yeah, it's like we're there's a lot about this, right? Because that's what neuroplasticity is. It's realizing that moment, right? That's what claiming your agency in the lived experience, right? That nuanced is like being aware. And I mean, what is described, and again, just sort of flung about casually in our culture about cognitive dissonance, right? But realizing the moment, right? The drop in the moment where you realize that's not what I thought it was, or my values are this, but then what I'm doing is this, and realizing those aren't a match. And you're like, what? Right? It's that. And there's various forms. Like sometimes there's really cataclysmic levels of that, but sometimes there's like super subtle versions of that. The example that's coming is around making food choices. Like really that difference, like to strong arm yourself to not eat the sugar. And I'm attached to the thought form that I have sugar cravings, and that if I ate what I wanted, it would be sugar, and that I want that cookie, right? I want that cookie. That's just a thought form. And then I have to overcome it, right? I have to smite that thought form by denying it and not eating the cookie. That's like a whole thing. But coming at it from a neurally plastic moment would be being at the point of awareness of realizing it's mid-afternoon. I need some calories. What my body would like is a readily accessible sucrose and maybe a little bit of fiber so that I can carry on having a beautiful day. Well, I would like a pineapple smoothie, I don't know, with some protein powder or whatever. Okay, both are sugary and delicious. Both of them give you a pick-me-up. But one of them, you're like, is hard, and the other is being from this internal awareness space and realizing, how do I want to do this? How would I like to make this reality come true for me? From this internal locus of impetus, desire, agency. Yeah. Let's breathe into that. Let's breathe into that. Wow. It's smoothing out. It's weird. There's so much fear of judgment. And the frequency of judgment, like so much of the time, we conceptualize it of we're afraid of being judged by others, or we're afraid we're going to let people down, which is just a form of judgment. But I feel like some of this frequency is also the way we judge ourselves. Like if I let go of the identity of myself as the person who always wants the afternoon brownie, then like who am I? And like that's like this weird self-judgment thing. Like did I let myself down? Or if I choose the fiber rich smoothie as opposed to the brownie today, am I going to let future self down by choosing the brownie tomorrow and not the fiber smoothie? So it's almost like you're afraid of letting your future self down, which is, I don't know, that's a weird internal judgment thing. I don't know. God, that was wacky. Wow, you guys. It's like we're hard on each other. We are. We are hard on each other. But doggone, we are hard on ourselves. It's not like I didn't know that, but it's weird to feel it so deeply and so intimately in this moment. I really. The beautiful, beautiful. Like the Eye of Sauron in Lord of the Rings, that sort of omnipresent eye, that all-seeing eye, right? It's like there's this multifaceted, truly facet-cut gem that is all-seeing and runs everything through its prisms. And it's judgment. I could weep. It's so big. It's showing, it's like if you could imagine the biggest facet cut diamond with so many. It's like we run everything through various facets and 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 faces of judgment. It's like, how do I? Because it's there and we have to work with it, right? So it's not like I can just strike a tune and take it away. How can we use it, right? It was a tool. It was a prismatic, multifaceted egregore that we all deal with and we're all attached to. And we're all working with it right now, whether we have the words for it or not. Everybody alive on the globe right now is dealing with this enormous gem of judgment and the ways we understand that. And the ways that we as a collective can shift the shine and reflection of said gem. Yes, we can. That. Yeah, that. That. Really good. Really good. It's funny. Oftentimes, I mean, sometimes I sort of, quote, drop the plot, right? But oftentimes, in these videos, it's like I can kind of bring it back around and sort of go around and catch all the trajectories and sort of coalesce them and wrap them up. It's like I can kind of remember what I've said, but y'all, the energy was big today. And the weird thing is that like neuroplasticity is just it's like I feel like I've tuned what I can tune today. I'm about to wrap this session up, and I'm thinking, okay, well, how do I verbally wrap this video up? And I can't, right? We walked up, and in our beingness and in being together and with me holding the intention of being with the collective field around this, we identified this state, this structure, this mechanism in the collective field that is affecting us all, and neuroplasticity is being in awareness of it. So like there's nothing to wrap up. We found it. We are standing in awareness of it. And that is doing the thing, right? That is integrating this session. That is the thing. That was the task. That was the side quest. We did it, right? This is doing it. This is how we do it, right? Yeah. Right on. Right on. Yeah, right on. This is how you change your life. This is how you understand what to do, is by being present in the awake alertness to the working edge, to the ever moving and ever movable and changeable working edge of your lived experience and our co-created reality, right? This is it. This is it. Thanks for being here. I am truly doing my best, y'all. Some days are better than others, but I am right here with you. It's like, yes, I do this work. And yes, I am a practitioner of it. And I'm also human and right here with you. It is a privilege and an honor and a delight. And a delight. All right, and then I'm going to truly do I am going to wrap the field of neuroplasticity and all the potentiation that can be wrought from that. I really wrap that into this field. Right on, right on. Well, I hope you really enjoy being awake, alert, and aware in your life, exercising and playing and noticing and delighting in that ever-changing presencing, right? And really the mastery and the ownership that you get to make your life. I hope it's fun. I hope this video helped. I hope integrating and realizing what doesn't need to get done to integrate life-changing moments, deeply earnest healing work, life changes, life transitions, right? Yeah. I am here, you guys. The work has been amazing, both individually and in community. As a human, I have a pretty profound practice in gratitude, and it's done nothing but increase lately. I'm so happy to be here. I don't want to be anywhere else, and I don't want to be doing anything other than this with anyone other than you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Reach out if you need anything. I'm here. This is what I do. In love and service, you guys. Thank you.